Hey, what's up guys, it's SirTagCR, and today we're going to be hitting you up with another series on the Graveyard Cycle Pump deck. This is probably the best deck in Grand Challenges right now. We got a solid 12 win with it, so let's go hop into our 12 win, and then we're going to go hop into some replays and show you guys the harder matchups. I was asking you guys on Twitter, what were the harder matchups for you guys, and you were saying 3M, Heal, and Golem, so we're going to be sure to cover those today. Alright, so we got 3Ms, we got some Wizards. Get in some Rockets. Rockets are decent, but I mean, all this is translated into gold for me since I have everything maxed out. Get in some nice Furnaces, or Furni, whatever you want to call them. We got Barbarian Huts. We want to get all of our epics soon. We want to get our Night Witch. Night Witch is pretty busted. Unfortunately, we're going to get all epics. Hopefully, we get the cannon cart right here. And we end up getting 7 cannon carts. That's pretty hype. I really want to get that stuff maxed out. That's the only epic that I do not have maxed out. Alright guys, I've been getting 12 wins left and right with this deck. As you guys can see, I'm beating balloon decks, I'm beating 3M heal decks. I'm just beating about everything with this deck. So guys, let's go hop into the harder matchups that you guys are requesting. Lots of 3M heals I saw in the comments, and I was seeing a lot of Golem. Alright guys, so the most requested archetype that I saw all over Twitter is, Jake, how do I play against the 3 Musketeer Minion Horde heal deck? And I'm going to show you guys right now. So I'm going to be pumping up at the start. It's always a very safe play to do when you have Night Witch and you have guards, or Night Witch and Ice Golem. You want to make sure that you have Night Witch in your opening hand if you're going to be pumping up. And we're going to be pumping up at the start. We're going to be playing very safe. We have Night Witch. We really aren't very scared of bridge spam. As you see right here, he's going to bridge spam me. He's going to be dropping Battle Ram. He's going to be dropping Night. That's 7 Elixir. We're going to mitigate all damage with a Night Witch plus guards combination. And what you're going to see right here is we're going to have the 4 Elixir from the Night Witch converting defense into offense, and he's feeling pressure to drop 3 Musketeers in one lane. When you see 3 Musketeers in one lane, it's most certainly going to be 3 Musketeer heal, and you never want to poison in single Elixir in that circumstance. If it's a double Elixir and you have multiple pumps down and they throw the 3 Musketeers in the back, and you're able to get some value with poisoning the tower and that, and then you're able to cycle back to another poison as they cross the river, then it might be valuable, but never in single Elixir. You really can't afford it. And you have so many tanks in this deck. You have the guards and you have the Ice Golem. That's literally what I'm going to be cycling. So the major #1 tip is going to be actually just not using your poison in single Elixir against this at all. Or even in double Elixir, I rather really not. And then the next best tip is really playing passively. You want to get a huge Elixir advantage. So I'm going to be poisoning pumps. I'm going to be setting up my own pumps. I'm going to make sure that I have the Elixir advantage throughout the entirety of this match. So those are the 2 tips to win. And that's the big thing that you're going to be seeing right now. The only reason I'm actually going to end up poisoning the pump and the 3 Musketeers in this situation is I'm going to be hitting everything. That's the only reason. There's no other reason to poison the 3 Musketeers in single Elixir. So I just wanted to clear that up. I wouldn't have actually poisoned the 3 Musketeers and the tower if the pump was not there as well. So we got some very nice value right there. I'm actually going to be logging the 3 Musketeers and everything right there as well. Going to get back to pump. And I'm not very scared of this guy. Another thing that I just saw right there is you can actually poison if you have their heal out of cycle. So if he went in for a Battle Ram plus Minion Horde push, I could poison it and not be too scared. Because guess what? He doesn't have heal in cycle. It takes 4 cards for them to get heal back in cycle. So be wary of that and have that in mind when you're actually running against this deck. So right here, right now, he's dropping the Skill Horde. I can poison it. I'm not scared because I know he's got heal nowhere in sight. When you have so many pumps down, you can actually afford to... You can actually poison cycle them out, honestly. Like, if I have so many pumps, I can outcycle his heal, and I can actually start to poison his 3 Musketeers. In this situation, I can't, but you're gonna see it later on when I actually outcycle, and it's gonna be pretty spectacular. So, big thing, guys, still playing passively. If you dropped any pumps, I would poison them. I'm making sure I have the Elixir advantage. I have so many tanks, I'm not scared at all. I'm not even gonna be poisoning, as I said before. No point in it. Actually, if you see a Minion Horde and 3 Musketeers, you can actually drop the Electro Wizard and in combination with the poison. Sometimes if they don't heal on time, it just automatically kills the Skill Horde. So I did it right there. His timing was really impeccable, and he played that really well. If he messed up the timing by a touch, that Minion Horde would have just evaporated to the poison plus Electro Wizard, and I would have been doing really well. But guess what, guys? We outcycled him right there. We knew that he didn't have heal in cycle. We went in for the log and the poison. We got it right before it went out, and we sauced him up with that well played because, you know, we're not taking kindly to 3 Musketeer heal players. So we're just going to be pumping up again, guys, and we know that the game's pretty much in the bag. We're even going to be poisoning the 3 Musketeers because we keep track of cards. At a high-level gameplay, you want to keep track. Going in for that poison plus log is going to be 6 for 9, and we got nice tower damage right there too. So Right now, we have 3 pumps on the field. We are not scared at all. We're going to be going in for we're just dropping a lot of cards right now. We know that if we need to get one big push off after getting all those pumps down, and then we can win the game. We know that he has nothing on the field because he used his minion horde. All he has is 3 musketeers, and we pretty much won the game right then and there, guys. Playing passively, saucing out the BM at the end is imperative because it is 3 musketeer heal, and you got to discourage people from running that. But in all seriousness, guys, play passive. Don't poison 3 musketeers early on and before double elixir, before you're able to outcycle them. Alright guys, let's go jump into another heavily requested deck matchup from Twitter. This one's going to be Golem Lightning, and I'm very happy to show you this one. This one, if you play it correctly, you should be able to win it at least 70% of the time. So, jumping into the game, I play this very passively. You never see me bridge spam with a Night Witch or Graveyard with an Ice Golem Graveyard, Night Witch Graveyard. I'm just not about that life. So I'm going to be defending right now. I'm going to be defending the Mega Minion. I'm going to be defending the Baby Dragon. When I see Baby Dragon, when I see Mega Minion, I always think Golem. That's one of the biggest things that you want to do when you're playing a deck. You want to think, what could this guy potentially be running? He could also be running a Splash Yard deck. So that's another thing that I don't really want to mess around with. So I'm saucing out my collector in the back left. As I see Lightning, my suspicions of Golem are confirmed. I have an Electro Wizard, and then I go for the Graveyard. This deck is a lot like Splash Yard in the sense of you want to be playing passively, pump up, but then you want to convert defense into offense. So I had an Electro Wizard that defended a Baby Dragon and it defended a Mega Minion. Then I went in for an offensive Graveyard using that defensive unit instead of dropping it at the bridge. So that's something that you guys got to consider, and you got to make sure that you're converting defense into offense in almost every single circumstance. So another big thing when defending against Golem decks or defending against anything with a Night Witch. You see he's dropping a Night Witch, he's got a Baby Dragon on the field behind his Golem. There's really no way for me to touch that Night Witch and that Baby Dragon, so I'm going to be poisoning that. I want to make sure that the Night Witch pops in the poison, so I'm actually going to be logging it so it dies in the poison, the bats pop, and I get some insane value right there. I still have to deal with the Baby Dragon, however, and I'm going to make sure that I drop an Electro Wizard to finish that off. So I'm going to be pumping up in the back left. The reason why I don't pump up in the middle is if I pump up in the middle, then it gives him more area to actually hit my tower. My Night Witch that is spawned right there, he would still be able to hit that, the tower, and the pump in the middle. So you always want to pump up in the back against tank decks with Lightning especially. So let's resume the game. I'm going to be poisoning. I'm going to also be logging again. That's the interaction that you want to repeat if you don't actually have a way of killing the Night Witch. Night Witch is very, very difficult to deal with, and I'm able to actually encompass the Baby Dragon in that as well. So another big thing that you saw again, guys, time and time again, I am keeping that Electro Wizard alive. Electro Wizard stun in coordination with the Graveyard is just so good. Another huge thing that I did right there is look where my Electro Wizard is placed. I placed it high up. That's also against all the Hog Rider Lightning decks that you guys were talking about. When you're defending against a Hog Rider, when you're defending against the Golem Lightning deck, you want to be placing your Electro Wizard in dire situations like this one or against Hog Rider. You want to be placing it higher up, basically at the bridge in that placement. If he tried to Lightning that, he actually cannot reach the Electro Wizard and the tower at once. So if he was able to get a nice Lightning there, I guarantee you he would have taken it, and then it would have maybe would have made the game a lot closer if he had gotten that Lightning off. But I'm able to defend his push with that Electro Wizard. I'm able to keep the Electro Wizard alive. And I take the dub right then and there, guys. Big things to consider. Always pump up in the back, convert defense into offense, and always poison their push if you have to, especially against Night Witch. Make sure that you poison plus log. They pump up in the back, play pretty aggressive, and always punish them. But if they're pumping up in the middle, and this guy played pretty well, you got to make sure that your defense is on point, convert defense into offense, and you can take the dub rather easily. Alright guys, so let's go hop into another replay against Lava Loon, which was very heavily requested as well. So in this matchup, once you recognize that they have Lava Loon, always pump up in the back on the tower that they're not going for. And when they're going for a Lava Loon push, make sure that you poison on defense. I know that's not very intuitive, but you want to make sure that you play passively and poison on defense. I see that this guy drops his 3 elixir minions. I know that if I defend this push right now that he's going to be doing, I can actually convert defense into offense and hold my log, because most decks that have 3 elixir minions don't actually have minion horde or anything else. So I was banking on that right here. I defend against this push. I end up having to use poison and Night Witch to nullify a lot of damage. Not something that you really want to be doing against a balloon. I'd much rather prefer to have Electro Wizard. This guy's BMing me a little bit, you know, we're a little bit triggered. we're going to be going in for the Ice Golem, and we're going to go in for a Graveyard. The reasoning for me going in for the Ice Golem and Graveyard right here and right now is because we saw the minions earlier on. I'm going to be hovering log. I'm going to be thinking this guy either has Skarmy, he has Goblin Gang, or he actually has just Goblins in general. So that's why I dropped my log immediately, because I was hovering it, and we get a lot of nice damage right here. So I'm happy with how this game is panning out right now. I had a very unnatural and horrible hand, and we're still recovering a little bit. So I end up using guards. I drop guards off to the side. I could have dropped guards like straight up, so then they went towards that tower, the weakened tower, but that was a minor misplay, I guess. But as I identified his deck, I knew that it was Lava Loon. I'm going to be pumping back in the back left, making sure that the lightning is not able to actually get some serious value as it did early on. It got a lot of value actually hitting my my tower, my my Night Witch, and my pump. And that was really detrimental to my game. So right here, I'm going to be dropping my Electro Wizard. This guy's playing really well. He's split pushing. Otherwise, I would have been able to drop Electro Wizard and poison his entire push. And this is just really not really going so well for me. I'm going to be dropping my Ice Golem off to the side. Going to be making sure that the Mega Minion does not lock on. If it did lock on, I would have kind of lost the game. Sometimes you actually have to use the Night Witch to counter you have to use the Night Witch to counter the Lava Hound, and that's a really big play that you got to be doing. In dire situations, since you only have the Electro Wizard and the Poison, don't be afraid to use out that Night Witch to counter. Alright guys, so another big thing is paying attention to your opponent's card cycle. I knew that he had no minions in cycle. His only viable counter was the Goblin Gang. So relying on that, I go in for a log, and I get some serious value right here. You got to make bold predictions in this matchup, and I get a lot of value. Taking out that tower just because of that really nicely timed log, and he is saucing out those crying faces. My tower is at 666. It is not hellish for me. We are still bouncing back and going to win this game. He's saucing out the Lava Hound in the back, and it's a little bit scary for me, but I know that I can still win this game. I'm going to be dropping my my Night Witch because he's probably not going to be lightning in that. He's probably going to save his lightning for my Electro Wizard. I guess he wanted to lightning it anyways. That means I'm free to drop my Electro Wizard. I actually end up going in for a poison because he did not have minions back in cycle. I go in for a graveyard poison actually, and I get a lot of damage right there. So I'm happy with how this game is going. He's actually getting a lot of damage on my tower, but we're still able to clean it up and mitigate a lot of damage with the Electro Wizard. Going in for one Desperation Poison and Graveyard, and we end up winning the game. So the biggest thing to consider in that situation is, guys, we really didn't have a great cycle, and this game was still very close despite him having a counter deck. If you do the things that I did, you pump up in the back when you identify their deck, you use your Electro Wizard on top of the balloon, do not be afraid to poison, play passively and recognize their card cycle, go in for logs when you know that their minions are out of cycle and when they only have Goblin Gang, you can easily win this matchup if you do everything correct. Guys, so I hope these tips helped you out. Let's go move on to the live battles now. Alright guys, we got a game against Destructor XXL. He's extra large. Oof. That's kind of scary, guys. He's intimidating me. But we have a great hand. This is the best hand you could possibly get. I am not going to get wrecked by Bridge Spam. I have my Night Witch. I have my Ice Golem. There is no way I'm going to be able to defend my virginity all the time. So this is basically going to be like Minor Poison. You want to be logging and you want to be poisoning out the Expo. For sure. Keeping that Ice Golem alive as long as possible. Getting a very nice clip right there with that log. He's going to be chipping away on my pump. But that pump is defended, guys. As I said, this hand is impenetrable. So we're going to be dropping our Night Witch in the back. Same lane as his Ice Golem. He's also going to be having archers. So he's definitely going to have a very good counter to Graveyard. We're just going to be continuously pumping up with this deck. He's also got Harry Potter, so we're not too scared about this man at all. We're even going to be dropping another Ice Golem. We're going to be dropping a Poison, and then we're also just going to log the Harry Potter. Harry Potter will die. We will end up having to drop our Electro Wizard, and that will make the Expo retarget onto the Electro Wizard and conserve a little bit of damage. And we're back to another pump again. He ended up missing up a tornado, so you know, this is about game for Harry Potter. This is the end of the Harry Potter series, guys. I'm sorry. We're dropping a Collector just to make sure that we win this game. We're not going to overextend because he does have archers, guys. Going to be dropping guards off to the side to pull the goblins. We don't really care too much about the Ice Golem. We dropped the guards off to the side to pull the goblins, so then we didn't actually end up hitting the the Ice Golem first. We conserved a little bit more guards. We're going to end up getting a really nice poison right here, hitting the archers, and then the Harry Potter is still shooting at us for no reason. Harry Potter, you just got to give up, man. Simply just got to give up, bro. Alright, we're going to be logging. We're also going to be dropping our Electro Wizard right on top. I think our wizard ends up winning. Nope, Harry Potter actually ended up winning that. He's coming back, guys. He is bouncing back. A little bit scared of him right now. He's trying to assert his dominance all over me. Inferno Dragon in the back. Oh my god, man. What is this deck? This deck is just unprecedented, unheard of. I've never seen anything like this before in my life. Dropping my Ice Golem to tank again, and that Expo should just be running out of time really soon. Gonna be dropping Electro Wizard again. Gonna be dropping our guards. We're just gonna be cycling poisons on him. There's no point of actually going in for a anything too aggressive right now. There's no point of going in for a graveyard when he actually has archers. Also, if I keep cycling poisons, he can't really drop an Expo into it, even though he did. It's just gonna get eaten alive by the poison, so it really isn't worth it for him. I've never seen an Expo deck with NATO without having Executioner, so I'm kind of flabbergasted right now. I don't really know what this is, but we gotta throw in another game after this one. Pretty whack game, guys. Alright, guys, so we got a game against Galia, and we're both starting off with pumps in the middle. Let's see how we do in this one. So we don't have the most opportune hand. We're not actually going to go in for a graveyard. I really dislike going in for graveyards at the start of the match. We're going to elect a poison. We're going to hit the pump. We're going to hit the goblins and the right-hand tower. So I'm really liking our situation. It's probably going to be looking like a golem deck on his part. Could also be, like, after seeing the Mega Minion, the Baby Dragon, and the goblins, it's definitely going to be golem for sure. So we're going to be trying to defend, trying to win the bridge battle, and then if we win the bridge battle, we could actually go in for a graveyard. Doesn't really look like we're winning, gonna win the bridge battle too decisively though, so we're not gonna go and overextend right now. We're gonna pump up, match his pump. He actually pumped up in a very awkward and weird situation. Oh my god, he has rocket. So he's running the golem rocket variant, I believe. We're going to be graveyarding. We're going to apply pressure right now. We're going to be poisoning as well because we actually are able to hit that pump. We're able to hit the goblins, and we're able to hit the tower. This is going to be a really good and clean game for us right now. We know that he has rockets, so we're probably not going to be pumping up in the back way too much, unless we're able to get 2 or 3 pumps down. This guy's pretty triggered right now. So he did use his log. We will apply pressure with the guards and see if we can get some more damage. Also, he is really a pump fanatic right now. He is unrelentless. Keeps pumping up. So we got to stay with him, guys. We got to make sure that he does not get too decisive of a pump lead. We're also going to use the Ice Golem right now to mitigate damage from that Mega Minion. And there it is. That's a Golem. That's exactly what I was expecting. So traditionally, when they're running Rocket in this variant, it's specifically for Executioner, because he really doesn't like when the Executioner pulls all of his units back. That's why he has Rocket in the deck. So we're going to stagger our units out a little bit, see what's up. So he's not going to be able to get a very valuable Rocket right here, but we're going to get a very valuable poison. We're going to be poisoning the Night Witch. We're going to be poisoning the Mega Minion. There is no way that this man is going to be breaking through, and he's going to be very sad right now. Going to be dropping our Night Witch as well. We have our Electro Wizard as well for the Baby Dragons, and we can't let those Baby Dragons lock on and do too much damage to us. We're also going to be dropping the Ice Golem, so then everything redirects on the Ice Golem. This is a little bit of a crazy situation at the bridge right now. We're going to be poisoning. We're going to be logging to make sure that that Night Witch dies as well. And it looks like we're defending our virginity just barely. We have a pump up on the field as well. We're going to go in for a graveyard. We're going to apply some more pressure, and hopefully we can take the tower right here and right now. So looking like a lot of damage for us. He's at 583. That's really solid. We're also going to go in for a poison because we want that nice chip damage. He's probably going to be dropping a golem right in front of that, and he does. So there's no way that we're actually able to defend this right now, so we actually have to go in for another naked graveyard. If you noticed what I was cycling my lower elixir cards just to get back to another graveyard. And it looks like we're going to be barely taking the dub right now. Very close game with this man. And it just shows the importance of poisoning on defense. Despite that being early on in the challenge, this guy was no slouch. He has over 5,600 cups, and he has over 100,000 challenge cards won. Alright guys, so that's where I'm going to end the video today. Thanks for chilling with me, and I can't wait to see you guys next time. Peace out, guys.